Hi anyone, I'm Luppi and we are very high. Wait, am I? I was not crouched. That was a bad place to not be crouched. Okay. Yeah, we were high in the sky there. Hi anyone, I'm Luppi and now that we are not, in danger, I say having a very precarious, sky base, you know. As we plummet to our potential doom. How are you guys doing this week? Having a fun week? Having a good start of a summer, maybe? I don't know. I don't know where you live. It could be summer, it could be winter, it could be... it could be heck, you know? Who knows? We're getting through it no matter what. Did any of you, manage to get a pre-order for the Nintendo Switch 2? Did you get an email about your Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order being canceled already? I don't know. I actually got an email that mine is preparing to ship eventually, so that's neat. Thanks. Random online. I say random online store. It was Walmart. I know they're not always the best place to buy things from because they're a pretty large corporation that doesn't really care about their employees too much. Although in all honesty... Okay, so we used up one of these puppies. Let's use up another one. Like... I also got my first Nintendo Switch from Walmart as well. That was back... That was a long time ago. That was 2017. I was a younger, more naive person then. Although when we think about it, it's probably... It's been a long time, actually. Jeez Louise. It's been... a long time since then. It's not letting me sleep because there's monsters everywhere. But I've got a little thing. That's not fair. You're keeping me from sleeping. You're making me stay awake. Against my will. Unless there's a little slime freak. Let me... There we go. It was that guy. Alrighty, so let's try not to have a fatality. Let's avoid harassing. And let us... Yeah, I hear things, but I don't see things. Which, I mean, is kind of true in real life as well. But also, not really. I don't see or hear things all the time. And it's always really embarrassing when people are like, actually... Well, actually, that was always there. You just didn't notice it. Okay. I guess I just have to accept the fact that I'm not paying attention, that I'm a ding-dong, or something, you know. Sometimes it's not that rude. Sometimes it doesn't have to be that bad. It doesn't have to be that mean. Sometimes it does, though. Sometimes it do have to be that way. But yeah, Nintendo Switch 2. I'm not really gonna change anything I upload daily or weekly or whatever. Not really changing any of my plans for the new Switch. So don't expect any any suddenly I'm uploading or playing this or that. Unless I start playing this or that. Like, I saw the list of games that are Nintendo Switch 1 games that are gonna have free updates. And, you know, I'd love to play some Mario Odyssey. Am I willing to ruin our Smash Bros. And Animal Crossing uploads for it? Probably not. But it would be kind of neat to play some Mario Galaxy. I would, or not Mario Galaxy, Mario Odyssey. Mario Odyssey, there we go. Was I saying Galaxy or was I saying Odyssey? I don't know. Whichever the case. Whichever case it was. Okay, thank you. Thank you, me. I'm placing stuff like a responsible person would place stuff, maybe. But yeah, I'm kind of excited for that, especially because you know, if the DLC for Breath of the Wild was included on the Switch 2 version, I would probably buy Breath of the Wild for like a 4th time. Still wouldn't be my most repurchased Zelda game, but you know, it's fine. Ocarina of Time may or may not deserve that spot, but I think it does simply for the fact that it's definitely the Zelda that got me into Zelda. And I say this as somebody who played the first 2 on the NES. Like, the first one was great. The second one's weird. It's got my heart in a really weird spot, because I will play, or I'll want to play the second Zelda, and I'll play it for a bit, and then the moment I get to a spot I can't do, I give up on it out of frustration. But one time I was playing it on the 3DS. When I was in college, I was playing it on the 3DS for some reason. Like, I had points. I think I had points because didn't like Club Nintendo like give you? No, they didn't give you points, but for some reason I had points on the 3DS. So I used them up on the Zelda games. Like, I got them all that I could, the Virtual Console ones. And I spent a summer. I did not play Oracle of Seasons or Oracle of Ages, unfortunately, but I did play the crap out of the second Zelda. And that's pretty enjoyable. I do enjoy having time with that game. It's just I've never beaten it on my own. I don't think I ever will. I've beaten the first Zelda on my own a few times. It's not that hard. It's really just like you have to get out of the early game. And as long as you're using like guides too, like if you're trying to do like a mapless or a guideless run, like it's pretty painful if you're used to more modern gaming. Modern gaming's a little more communicative. Like it'll actually tell you what to do and how to do stuff and where to go. Even if it's not holding your hand, it's a little more friendly. Whereas, unfortunately, that is not how the NES Zeldas are. And that's kind of not how the, A Link to the Past, there we go. A Link to the Past is either. Like, I do think the most accessible classic Zelda is Link's Awakening, in all honesty. And even then, that one's got some weird points where it's like, yeah, okay. You stumped me for too long, and now I feel dumb. I feel like that's just the genre, though, of, like, adventure puzzle games. Or, they're not even puzzle games, but, you know, like, adventure games with puzzles in them. Like, you know, you either jive with it and you understand what's going on and you can figure it out pretty intuitively, or you're just going to be stumped. And some of the games I get stumped and some of them I don't. That being said, I also really want to play the Nintendo DS Zelda games again. Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass. There we go. My brain farted on that one, but it's fine. We remembered it in the end. Which is better than forgetting it at the start. I had to choose. I'd choose to remember at the end as opposed to forgetting at the start. But yeah, I don't know how with it I'm going to be. I'm playing this about as late as last time. And my week has been really... It wasn't busy, it's just there were things that took me out of my schedule. And sometimes that's okay. Like, you know, if you have an insomnia bout and it's like, well, I can just do work until I pass out. I can just keep recording or editing or doing whatever until I pass out. Like, that's fine. I don't like it because it definitely starts to get painful towards the end there. And it's like, well, why are you doing this to yourself? And it's like, 'cause if I take a nap now, I'm never going to fall asleep at a normal time for like 2 weeks. So we have to just grin and bear it for a day or two. And hopefully things go back to normal. But yeah, I had multiple days of insomnia, so that sucks. Usually that only really happens in like 2 situations, which is I'm either sick or like I've experienced some sort of like horror element. Like that's the other thing that does it to me is of like I read a book about like ghosts or aliens and it gets to me. That'll do it. Like I get like they're not night terrors because I'm awake, but you know you just panic about every little thing. You overthink things. And you don't want to be like that. Like as an adult, that's kind of like I don't know. I haven't met people who are like that. So like I always feel ashamed. Like I'm just a guy who's easily like emotionally freaked out by things. Like and I don't want to be that way. And the easiest way not to be that way is to just not consume like Bigfoot or alien media, which is funny because I like to talk about them a lot. I like to consume the media, but it does some certain kinds of stories do like for whatever reason like resonate with me with a deep fear, like a primal fear, and I don't like that. So yeah, that's a little bit about me and my and I haven't really read or watched anything about paranormal stuff or anomalous whatevers. So I think it's just, you know, maybe I came down with something, maybe. I don't know. Could be anything. I'm gonna blame food poison. I'm just gonna say I got food poisoning somehow, and I'm just gonna shrug and be like, I'll be fine whenever my organs are back to an okay position. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, definitely do not like having multiple nights where I can't sleep. Or days, whatever. It's okay, it's fine. We're all over the place here. You know, sometimes we're sleeping during the day, sometimes we're sleeping at night. Sometimes we're just doing whatever. It's okay. It's fine. I'm fine. But yeah, those are my least favorite kinds of days are the ones you didn't get any sleep because the feeling I feel is like I call it grindy, where like you know it's hard to just do anything. But yeah, I hate grindy days. The passion. I remember when I worked at Toys R Us, and so many days were just grindy because like I don't know. I just hated my time there. that's the real secret. I hated my time there and should have quit. I should have just quit multiple times. I don't understand why it took me 7 months to be like, actually, I'm moving and I don't wanna take 2 buses to get here. It already took me 45 minutes to walk here and I hated it. I enjoyed the walk though, actually. It was a nice walk. Other than the one intersection and the fact that I had to go through a parking lot that was adjacent to many kinds of different other businesses, some of which were a little more questionable, like the strip club. Although usually it wasn't an issue. Usually when I was coming and going, usually there weren't really people there. Because either it was like really late, and so like everybody's either already in there and nobody's leaving, or it was really early in the day, so everyone was like gone, it was closed. So I don't know. It is kind of nice though to like learn about new businesses, I guess, and you know, try out the new. And it's not new. It was new to me, walking through a parking lot, and being like, "Oh, hey, there's an estate store, a store that sells stuff from deceased people's houses. That's cool." One thing I noticed was there's a lot of Dilbert comics for whatever reason, and what was it, 2015, 2016? Somewhere in there. That's kind of weird. I heard the guy who draws Dilbert is, doesn't he have cancer? Or at least he said he had cancer. I don't know. I don't know why people would lie about it, but some people do. And that sucks because, I don't think we want to be in a situation where we're not believing that people have cancer when they say they have cancer. It's a pretty terrible thing to have. And people who have cancer, people who have any sort of like, any sort of disease that can potentially end your life, I think they deserve a lot of support. So it's definitely a very tough thing to deal with. And it's not like we have a medical system where people are guaranteed to survive, you know? Or you're not guaranteed to survive and be debt-free, which is kind of gross, super terrible. We should get on that. But yeah, I feel like I'm kind of all over the place. Like we were talking about, we were talking about me, I guess, and my week, kind of. Talking around the week I had. That's okay. Yeah, I don't know, the insomnia kind of ruined it. I had a day where I did stay awake the entire day somehow. I was nodding off though multiple times. Like a relative came over and she's just talking about her life and I'm just like, golly, I'm sorry. I'm gonna close my eyes. Don't let me fall over. Don't let me fall asleep. But like, I just need to close my eyes. And it wasn't even like I was in control of it. It was just like it's when it's involuntary. Like your eyes just close and like your head starts to bob, and you're just like, yeah. Well, at some point, one of these times, I'm gonna be out completely. Hopefully, I don't fall out of my chair. Like, I never really used to experience that. Like, as a kid, I never did, which is weird because I had insomnia really bad as a kid. Like, I'd have nights where it's just hours of just, like, staring at the ceiling. And it's a dark room, so it's not like you're really staring at the ceiling, but you know what I mean. Like, you're just on your back, staring up, unable to sleep. Increasingly, like, freaked out and, like, frustrated at yourself, you know? In the situation you find yourself in. To be fair, I had some of the weirdest dreams as a kid, though. Like, a reoccurring one where I'd wake up and I'd believe my scalp was bleeding, and it's like, no, it's not. You just had a nightmare, buddy. I don't know if that's caused by, like... As a kid, one time I got lice from, like, my sister. Or one of us got lice from, like, classmates and gave it to the other one. Like, we don't really know the proper order. But in my mind, she gave them to me. Even though it's very likely it could have just been me to her. And one of us got it from a classmate. Like, it was, like, November, I want to say. I want to say it was November. I feel like it was, like, around Thanksgiving time, I want to say. But yeah, we had lice, and, like, I just remember scratching my head all the time, like, the week before it. So we had it for a while. And, like, the reason I believe my sister gave it to me is because she was the one where my mom was, like, combing her hair. That's how my parents discovered we had lice was like when they were combing my sister's hair. And so, like, the fact that she was discovered first, and it's like, no, that's not how that works. It could have been you. And you don't have your hair combed by your parents, so it could have been you, buddy. Probably was, actually. You're not really beating these allegations, buddy. You're accusing other people. That's suspicious. But yeah, definitely remember all the scalp scratching. And it's not like I ever made it bleed. It's just I remember it being itchy and being concerned that I'd make it bleed. So it kind of makes me wonder if I'm just a hypochondriac that's somehow managed to not be a hypochondriac about certain things because nobody ever took me seriously. Which may be the way to cure hypochondria. Just don't entertain their notions, I guess. Although I am still like a very anxious, very paranoid kind of person. And I definitely have like a lot of, I wouldn't say rage, but a lot of like, I don't know, what's the emotion? I guess kind of like rage about how nobody really takes me seriously. About things I believe or think about myself. I don't know, people are all, maybe I'm just a really bad judge of my own character. And everybody else is really good at that. But then, like, the same people will be like, I don't understand why I never knew you were into this or that. And it's like, yes, I'm into anything as long as it's neat. You didn't think I was a guy who would write poetry? I don't usually. Sometimes, you know, I don't know. It's a neat thing. It's not like I know the different ways you can. It's not like I know, like, haikus or iambic pentameter, is that it? Or any other kind of thing. Like, what's the one that's the British one? I want to say rhyming slang, but that's not it. It's something they do where it's not actually poetry. It's not poetry, but it is kind of neat how, like, it's like a code. I think about all kinds of things, and then I mix up stuff in my head, and it's like, okay. And that might be just, I don't know, I think I'm sleep deprived, probably, definitely. Yeah, back to the scalp bleeding thing. I took a long time to tell that story. I spent a long time trying to convince you guys I'm not the one who gave my sister lice. And, you know, it's 50-50. One of us definitely got it and gave it to the other. Or maybe we both, maybe it was just an outbreak at the school and we both got it at the same time. That'd be the funniest thing. Like, neither of us gave it to each other. We just got it from our classmates. That would be funny. I can appreciate that kind of happenings, that kind of goings on. That's kind of cute. Definitely sucked for my parents who had to deal with it, but that's kind of cute. Like, the reason I think it was Thanksgiving was because we had some movies and games. So like I basically just got a long weekend where I could just play like Paper Mario and the N64 Rugrats game. And what else did we do? We watched The Emperor's New Groove, and I want to say the Recess movie, the first one, the one where the military guy is trying to get rid of a summer vacation. And the usual principal and like teacher people are actually on the kids' side because they actually like recess and summer vacation as well. Even though they're stodgy old adults, like, yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed like the old Disney and like Cartoon Network series where they actually tried to, where like it's more grounded, so the villains aren't like out and out evil. It's just like they're people with a different perspective. And sometimes, like in the case of Recess, the cartoon Recess, That's because most of the antagonists are like adults. And there's very good reasons why adults would be like antagonistic towards children. It's not always like you're a kid-hating freak. Sometimes it's just like you gotta impress upon children who are too young to like understand consequences and rules, like why we have rules and consequences for breaking them. Things can get dangerous real quick. And as a kid, you don't really understand or respect that. It's just like, you know, not the hall monitor, but you know, like the recess like aide or the teacher or whatever, the principal, are just being jerks or mean. Completely oblivious to the fact that like, well, the reason they're like this is because like they don't want you to get hurt. And then as an adult, you can be like, yeah, but like what's their motivation? Do they not want you to get hurt because they care about you specifically, or because they don't want to deal with it, or because they don't want to get in, like they don't want to get the consequences for not watching you properly, which is getting like fired. I don't know. There's a lot of reasons to induce things, I guess. Yeah, we definitely had a good. I don't know. Like I don't want to say we had a good time with lice, but we definitely got to experience a lot of things that we wouldn't have otherwise. So that's kind of worth it, I guess. Could be worse. I would say that's a good way to deal with kids who have lice, though, is just and nowadays you don't even rent movies, you just like turn on the streaming service, let them watch some random garbage, and you know, shave them up, shampoo them up, treat them up with the chemicals, whatever you're planning on doing, as long as you're not boiling their little heads. Most kids can't handle that. They're not temperature proof yet. Imagine the things we could do if people got really cool with a lot of dumb stuff. It's upsetting to me that people get all hung up about like trans people, because it's like, honestly, the only conversation about like how unnatural trans people are is like how unnatural it is that we're stopping ourselves from achieving even greater heights of potential. I am pro human augmentation. And I say this as somebody who's fairly anti-human in general. I'm pro human augmentation. Like I don't think we've truly reached the heights of what people can do or be. So like why get hung up on like honestly, my hot take is my biggest issue with trans people is like, why aren't they making more genders? There should be way more genders, and people should be wanting to become them. I'm just saying, like, we've only had paint. I say we've only had paints. We've had paints for like 30,000 years at least, 50,000, 60,000. Like we keep finding handprints with older painted handprints and stuff, like older painted animals. Like we've had paints for a while, but I wanted to say like we've only had paints for a few thousand years. And like it's not like we've had all the infinite colors we have now that entire time. We've been slowly building up. And I feel like we should be that way about gender a little bit. Why just stick with the two? Why can't we have more? Are they all gonna be functional? Probably not. Are they gonna be really... I would hope they'd be mostly performative, actually. Like, I'd hope like there's some sort of social aspect. Although, who knows? Maybe we could identify it. I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking about this. Like, we could go totally wacky with it. And in some ways, we could go totally wacky with it without even requiring augmentation at all. Like, we can just change how we view things socially and say, like, oh, yeah, if you're... I don't know. I feel like there's the ways we would talk about this kind of stuff, or at least I would, and maybe that's on me, and my socialization is pretty terrible. Like, I wanted to say, and if you're born male, but like that's true, but that's still in the binary, isn't it? Huh. But yeah, if you're born male, never go outside, you're actually not male at all. You're just a low male, you know? You're a snail male. You stay at home all day. Snail male. There's a time where snail mail just meant the usual mail. Just meant the usual mail. Oh well. Yeah. Be nice to people. It's Pride. They're doing their best. They're living through crap. I mean, we all are, but some people get routinely oppressed and legislated against constantly, so that sucks. I know I couldn't handle it. And I say this as a gamer, the most oppressed people on the planet. That's not true. I mean, the lies about gamers being oppressed. That's not true. And like, you can call me a gamer. That's fine. That's how I used to identify myself when I was younger. I don't really as an adult, because I don't really play the games I want to play all the time. Like, I enjoy Smash Bros. And Animal Crossing, but they eat up so much of my time, and I would love to play something else sometimes. I've had Elden Ring for like 2 years, and I haven't even touched it. And that's on me. It's also on the YouTube channel, though. It's also on me not being good at keeping up on the workflow for the YouTube channel. You know. The blame game always ends up... the buck stops here, you know? Not in a responsible way, but in a, like, that's just realistically how it's gotta be. Would Harry Truman be upset that I stole his little quote just to hand wave my own inability to actually be responsible for a prolonged period of time? At the same time, though, it's so boring being responsible. Do you know how hard it is to just be boring all the time? I know I'm boring. I don't think I talk about anything fun, do I? I'm rambling. I'm sleep-deprived rambling about, like, my past as a kid with lice. Or, fearing that my scalp was bleeding. Like, did I even get back to that story? Like, we talked about the lice a lot. Did we ever go back and, like, explain, like, what was the other part? I've already forgotten. I forgot what I was gonna say. And this was, like, formational to, who I am, apparently. How did I forget it? I guess it didn't matter. That's good. Maybe now I'll be able to sleep. Now that, something either went clearly back into the vault or it's gone forever. Either way, I appreciate it. I cannot have all this information in my head. All the Digimon I know and all the Pokemon I know eat up so much information in my little brain. How could I saw that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were on the Switch too, like free update, whatever. So it's like, oh boy, are we gonna play some Pokemon? Probably not. Probably not. Don't expect Pokemon. Don't expect Pokemon. Don't expect Pokemon. Not playing Pokemon. Maybe. Someday. But not until we're done with all this stuff. Not until we're done. This is an ASMR. This is an ASMR. I'm not whispering really close to the microphone. This is an ASMR. But we're not playing Pokemon. And that's just how it's gonna be. Okay. We're not playing Pokemon. But yeah, now that you know that we're not playing Pokemon, at least for the foreseeable future, if we ever reach a point where, like, we're no longer playing Animal Crossing, we're probably going to get a bit more groovy about other games. If we reach a point where we're no longer playing Smash Bros. And uploading, like, 5 or 6 or 7 videos every freaking day, then that'll also free things up. And hopefully at some point we start actually tackling the backlog. Because it's nightmarishly big, and I'm realizing I probably don't have enough time in my life to play it all. It's a scary thought. You're as a kid, you can just play whatever game you want. There's never enough games, and then you grow up and you realize, holy crap. Why do I keep spending money on this stuff if I don't have the time to deal with it? And it's like, you did. You just didn't use that time effectively. And it's like, yeah. Yeah, let's make a new Minecraft world. Let's do that up, baby. This isn't a cry for help. This is just lamenting the aging process. I had a period of time where I was growing out my facial hair for the first time in a while. And I realized my beard hairs, some of them are gray, or white, or clear, whatever you want to call it. Colorless, gray, white, whatever. But that's not what my hair color used to be, so that's kind of neat. And on one hand, like, I'm not upset about it. Like, I know some people would, like, have a crisis about it. But it is, like, a stark reminder that, like, yeah, buddy. You've got a lot of dreams, but you don't have any real plans. So, what are you doing so you can, get stuff done? So you can do stuff, you know? What's stopping you from doing all your dreams? Like, maybe you should label those out, and maybe you should label what things you think you can do. What things you want to do. Like, at all costs, what do you absolutely want to do? And just, like, bucket list that stuff and do it. I mean, it's a little too early to think about dying, but at the same time, like, is it? Like, you keep reading those, the internet keeps sending me articles about, like, younger and younger people keep getting colon or rectal cancer, and it's like, okay, that's scary. I don't want to know that. I don't want to think about having cancer in my 30s or 40s. I haven't seen a doctor since 2018. I don't want to think about it. I'm not a responsible adult. I don't live in a responsible country, though, that allows me to be a responsible adult. Why the heck do you have to pay for doctors when you only earn, like, what? $10 an hour? $12 an hour? $17 an hour? Well, you can afford a doctor a little bit on $17 an hour, and it's like, oh man, not really. I don't know. That's just a rant about. That's a rant about a lot of things. So if you're ever wondering, like, where my politics come from, it's just a lifetime of working shit jobs and listening to people twice my age talk out of their butts about stuff they don't really understand. And being like, I'm just gonna choose the opposite of what you're talking about because you're kind of dumb. And I'm not a smart cookie, so, like, that's definitely a bad choice. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm just really sick and tired of listening to people twice my age, especially people twice my age who have never had, like, a serious health complication. And it's like, yeah, sucks for my generation, full of plastic and frickin' whatever. You just got full of lead, so you have brain damage now, weirdo. And that's why you hate women. Even though you don't understand that, like, openly hating women, while also, like, surprisingly having a good relationship with your daughters and wife is really, I mean, good for them, or maybe bad for them, I don't know. I never know about situations. I don't really pry into people's lives, so when they talk about, like, really horribly sexist stuff, it's like they're bringing that home. They're treating their family just like this. They're talking about this stuff at home. But it's like, you hope they don't. You hope that they're actually like a normal person. But it's like, I don't know, if you're comfortable enough to be like this, like, with your work people. Because I'm not anybody's friend at work. I'm just guy who's there. People always act like I'm their friends, though. It's like, I'm not. Just normal guy. Getting through this. I just wanna daydream and stock shelves and get out, and I don't want anybody talking to me. Let me live my truth. Let me live my anti-human truth. Let me daydream until I freaking die. I don't want to be in this real world. I want to be in a fake world. I'd rather be reading books or playing games. Don't put me in a situation. Don't bring me into the woods. Please don't ever bring me into the woods. I cannot handle the woods. Fills me with panic. Panic and dread. Mostly panic. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. I feel like that's a little bit like that's kind of trauma dumping at that point, you know, just going off like that freestyle. Not a good look. I mean, it's not the worst thing you could do, but like it's still not really ideal. Not preferential. Not a preferable way to be or communicate. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I'm just saying I'm explicitly talking about what I was just doing. Not the people we were just talking about, you know, the weirdos who are really aggressive in their opinions about things. And then get really weird when you're also aggressive, or not even aggressive, but just like equally like, yeah, I believe stuff too. People always get weird when I talk about like, yeah, we should blow up the moon. Or maybe maybe we should uplift octopi, or like domesticate more and different kinds of animals. Has anybody ever thought about, can we milk frogs? I mean, we milk snakes, we milk cows and a lot of other mammals. Why can't we try to milk other animals? I'm sure even if we don't want to consume those products themselves, I'm sure pharmaceutical companies would love a chance to just experiment with all the different like frog milks that exist from all the different frogs that like secrete mucus and other such slimy things. Could be fascinating. Probably just really gross and also cause the extinction of the rest of amphibians. Well, you know, it'd be a pretty sweet ride up until that point. When I was a kid, I was told that frogs would be extinct by the, what was it, 2030? 2040? To be fair, though, there were some nasty chemicals in the water, and there still are. There's still a lot of nasty crap in the water. Some of it was parasites, some of it was chemicals, you know? Like, it's really weird, because, like, when I was in high school, middle school, like, the leading theory on, like, why the frogs were getting mutated so badly was just, like, it was parasites. Or it was, like, chemicals, it's parasites, it's chemicals, like, I don't know. It's been a while since I've read the literature. I haven't really seen if it's been updated at all. So, I don't know. Hopefully the frogs are okay. They're neat animals. I do like frogs. I think I'd like people a lot more if they were a little more gung-ho about protecting the frogs. If anybody is thinking like, oh, okay. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. Protect the little interesting animals, you know? So a little bit of interest or concern for them. And then you're instantly a good person in my books. That's all it takes. Just a little bit of effort. I'm not asking for you to like... I'm not asking or demanding or expecting people to make like an entire cathedral or write an entire world's worth of literature. All I want is a little bit of effort from humanity. Anything less than that's disappointing. I don't know. I just think about how the largest work in one of the largest works of English fiction is a Smash Bros like fanfic, and it's like, okay, that's a lot of effort. I'm not gonna judge you for it, but I'm also judging you for it. I don't know. Maybe I hate humanity a little more just because of that. Or maybe I love it. I don't know. I've never actually read it, so I don't have an opinion on it. I just think about that Snapple fact all the time of like, oh yes, one of the largest continuous works of fiction, of English fiction, is a Smash Bros. Fan comic. Not a fan comic, but a Smash Bros. Fanfic. There we go. Which is a really weird thing to say. And unsurprisingly, or surprisingly, depending on like what kind of how you stay informed, how old you are, like definitely not the worst thing to come out of Smash Bros. And its fandom. There's definitely way worse things associated with Smash Bros. So I don't know. I also cannot tell you the name of the fanfic. I've never read it. I just know the Snapple fact about it. It might not even be true. It's been a while probably since somebody posted it on Tumblr, and then somebody stole that from the Tumblr poster and then read it on YouTube, so who knows? I certainly do not. I don't know anything. But we are making a little bit of progress. Sometimes a little bit of progress is all the progress I need. Okay. But yeah, I want to take a bath after this. But realistically, I'm probably just going to go to bed. I'm just going to ignore the fact that I'm all game sweaty. It's gross to be. I hate it. I don't know. I feel like it'd be a lot more tolerable being like a human animal if like every little thing didn't like make me like uncomfortable. That's just the way it is. I think on some level my sheer hatred of humanity is simply an inability to deal with all the little frustrations I have about my human existence. If I had a proper outlet, I probably wouldn't have to like resort to having like this fantastical expression of like the world and life's inhumanity towards us. But I don't have an outlet for that. I don't make art to express my negative emotions. I just like making little weird guys. That's what it's always been about. More shelves full of more little guys. I'm gonna croak and that's all I'm gonna have. I'm gonna have my parents' house full of even more garbage. I'm gonna die at 40 something and my sisters are gonna be like, oh my god. He didn't get rid of any of our parents' crap. And then he also added to it. They're also gonna find out I booby-trapped some of the sculptures. Haha. Not in a horrible way, but just in a fun way. A little haha, a little hee-hee. A little I dropped it, but instead of like gluing it back together, I just placed it in a way where it looks like it's one piece, where it's actually like 3 or 4. What? Don't judge me. Do you know how many times I've superglued my fingers together on accident? Too many. One thing I've learned as a young person playing with superglue is if you superglue the wrong things to yourself, it can be really bad. That is something I've learned at a young age. Mostly like foams. I liked playing with foam because it was kind of always available to me, and it's easy to cut up, and it's easy to like stuff a head of like a Digimon onto a piece of foam. and then have like a little soft guy with an Agumon head, and that's kind of cool. But yeah, don't super glue foam. And definitely don't do that and then accidentally get that thing attached to you. It will burn. Maybe, sometimes. And honestly, I don't know if that's like, because thinking about it, that might just be not from like the foam and the super glue reacting, but it might just be like the super glue, you know? Like that's a pretty rapid reaction, right? I don't know. I don't remember if super glue is inherently like a thermal reaction though. And I feel like all chemical reactions are kind of like give off heat on some level. But like there's definitely like a clear difference between like a certain kinds of resins like interacting with each other and like plaster. You know, plaster gets fairly hot as it dries. It's definitely a, is it exothermic? Yeah, I want to say it's exothermic. Is that the word? It's some sort of a reaction that produces heat. That's kind of cool. It's also why if you let cement or plaster dry around you, you can lose body parts because yeah, they can get really hot. And that kind of it definitely depends on the things around you. Depends on how hot it's gonna get. It really depends on like the powder, and there's a lot of math you could do. You could definitely figure out how hot a certain amount of plaster or cement is just by knowing some numbers and some equations. I don't know any of this stuff, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up. I hope it adds to the conversation a little bit. You do have to do a thing here. This guy's in the way. Unfortunate, but it is in the way. Yeah, I'm starting to feel tired now. Glad it took at least, I mean, it didn't take an hour. It took a little less than an hour, but you know, at least we spent some time doing stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying not to audibly yawn, but it's really hard. I am going to yawn at some point. I'm also rewatching Kill la Kill again. I like Kill la Kill. It's a pretty neat anime. I know it's ancient at this point, when anything that literally didn't come out this season or isn't getting new seasons is old. It's part of the before times for most people. That's fair, but I always enjoyed Kill la Kill. It is definitely one of my comfort animes. Which is kind of unfortunate because it's not like it's one I can recommend to people. Which is too bad because people have recommended me some also questionable stuff like Fairy Tail. And Fairy Tail is only questionable because it's long. And like, I don't know, man. Like, I love Hiro Mishima, but he kind of just writes the same story again and again and again, but like in a different setting. And it's not that it's not that bad. But like he does use a very similar set of like teams and characters and themes. It's all about, you know, we're punching things with the power of friendship. So, I don't know, if that's not your cup of tea, I can definitely understand not enjoying Fairy Tail or Rave Master or Eden Zero. What's the new one? The new one doesn't even have an anime yet. Is it Dead Rock or Rock Dead? Something like that? I don't know. At some point I'll probably read it. At some point I will. I stopped reading Eden Zero partway through, and I have a lot of the volumes, so at some point we're just gonna have to read like 20 volumes of Eden Zero and just get through it. And I say that like it's a chore, but it feels that way when you have 20 volumes just sitting around, but it's not gonna be that way once we actually get into it. Like once you read it and it's like, oh yeah. Back to Hiro Mishima's Shonen Wonderland. Let's see what Haru in space does. Haru and Ellie in space. That's not really how Eden Zero is, but sometimes it is. I don't know. Honestly, my biggest gripe with Fairy Tail was simply I really don't like when people have magic systems where people don't really use the magic in like wizard ways, I guess. Like I really wasn't a fan of how like all the magic was like, I made a flaming fist and now I'm gonna punch you. I made a steel fist and now I'm gonna punch you. I can change my clothes and now I'm gonna hit you with my sword that I conjured with the clothes. I can turn into animals, or I can absorb animals and like add their attributes to my own. I'm only going to do this to my arms, and I'm never going to be in a serious arc, and I'm never going to win a real fight. I don't know. It's frustrating because there's so much potential in magical worlds, but at the same time, like, we don't live in a magical world, so from our perspective, like, it's really hard to understand how a magical world would work. So I don't know. I always try to be really lenient on any sort of series, regardless of the medium, that talks about magic and like magic users and stuff. But that's always my big like gripe with it is, it doesn't make sense. It's just not holistic to the whole thing, you know, like. You have a world that's like ours, but you have magic users, and magic users would change things, and it's like, yes. Yes, they would. So why haven't they? I don't know. And then just, yeah, let your characters be inventive and dumb with magic. Like, that's one thing. I know Harry Potter's a very controversial series because J.K. Rowling is definitely throwing her money around to exterminate and criminalize trans people really hard. But one thing I did enjoy about Harry Potter is that we see a lot of the characters do ridiculously dumb stuff with magic. Some of it because they can, some of it because they're not aware of the consequences of not knowing what a spell is going to do. So, I don't know, I appreciate that. I actually do appreciate just letting young people be dumb young people and make mistakes. It's okay, that's very realistic. And maybe that's just for me, being a really dumb guy who doesn't understand anything. So seeing people who don't understand the consequences of their actions makes me feel a little validated. And at the same time, it's not like that's a particularly like strong thing that like J.K. Rowling did. It's just like, you know, she did write Harry as making a lot of blunders, you know. And also everybody does though. Ron and Hermione, Malfoy. Like it's really hard to be a young wizard, I guess, and not almost kill people accidentally. And, you know, so he did at least give us the sentence, never trust anything if you can't see where it keeps its brain. That's another thing I think about all the time. Too much. Darn shame that she is an unrepentant psychopath. But, you know, as long as we're not spending money on her properties, like, oh, I bought the books when they were coming out as a kid. I'm never giving her more money. I don't need memorabilia. You know, I was a young person. At some point, I tried chocolate frogs. The holographic wizard cards were kind of disappointing. Kind of neat. The lack of availability of chocolate frogs, so I couldn't collect all the wizard cards, was also kind of a negative. Only one store I went to had them, and they did not have them for long. That's how a lot of stuff was about, like, that's how a lot of Harry Potter merch was back in the day, though. Like, the original copies of, like, the Quidditch rulebook and, what was it, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, were, like, paperbacks that were only in stores for, like, a holiday season, I think. I don't know. I'm frustrated I never got to own a copy of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And now that I have money and can spend it on stuff frivolously, I feel bad about buying a new copy and giving money to a J.K. Rowling. That's also why, like, the Harry Potter games are also another thing we're not going to play on the channel, period. I mean, unless, like, J.K. Rowling dies. Then, if she dies, like, and if I still have a YouTube channel and she croaks, then yeah, we'll buy the Harry Potter games and play them out of sheer spite. I'd drop Animal Crossing to play the Harry Potter game. I don't know. I don't think so. I like Animal Crossing. It's a good vibe. A good vibe made by slightly more ethical people, but, like, I don't know. Nintendo does the Animal Crossing team dirty, because they also have to do the Splatoon games. And I think it's pretty clear that they can't do both at the same time. But we really like Splatoon now. It's so fun to make Splatoon games. We just make a new cute squid girl, and everybody just plays the games and doesn't say anything. And I know that's not actually how Splatoon devs are. I know they're working really hard. It's wild to me that Splatoon's got, like, 3 games. 3 games already. And the first game came out in 2015. Hasn't even been 15 years, and it's got 3 games. And I say that, and it's like, yeah, but, like, the Mario games had, like, what, 4 in less than 10? So, like, what are you talking about? Now's when... I don't know. I think about stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, but that was the NES, and it's like, yeah, but they were using computers that, like, were garbage. They were using computers that were garbage to make these games. Like, you gotta remember, like, we are so lucky to live in a time where we have phones in our pockets that are more powerful computers than it took to get people to the moon. Like, what a ridiculous thing to say. And yet, there it is. We have phones in our pockets with more powerful computers in them than existed commercially, professionally, like, in the 90s. And even in the early 2000s, like, I don't know. It's impressive. It's impressive how technology has grown. And a little sad, like, where it's stagnated, I guess. But yeah, that's my little rant about being boggled by how much things change as I grow older. So it's kind of going back to the point of, like, you know, yeah, I realized I have gray hairs in my beard, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, it's not that the beard hairs bother me, it's just like a reminder of my mortality is intolerable. There we go. I don't want to be reminded that I will age and die. That's kind of sad. I want to be I'd give it all for immortality. No, I wouldn't. I like too many things to give up anything for immortality. But also, I don't like anything long enough where I'd want to do it forever, you know? Like, would I appreciate 1,000 years of life? I don't know. It really depends how those 1,000 years are gonna go. Like, if at any point I can be trapped in a rock, then no. No, I would not like that. Or if I was bedridden after, like, the age of, like, 150 and unable to do anything for myself, that would also be a no-go. What's the point of that, stranger? What's the point of that? Okay, I just wanna skulk around a bit. I need something to keep my mind engaged. So far the conversation's been enough, but I don't know. I am sleep deprived, and I'm going to at some point not be able to form words. There we go. You tried to attack me. Or maybe you were just trying to get on land. You know, what else did I watch lately? There was Pirates of the Caribbean. There we go. I watched the first 3 movies again. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about them. Like, they were pretty neat when I was a kid. And I still think they're pretty neat, but more than anything, like, I feel like they're pretty carried on the actors and on, like, the locations they shot this stuff. Like, a lot of this stuff is like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, actually. I thought I did. I thought I had an opinion. But now I'm realizing, like, actually, I don't know. They're fine. There are some parts of some of them where it's like, I don't even understand why this is going on. I suppose this is why you actually watch a movie and you don't let a movie play while you're editing videos or playing Animal Crossing. Golly. Yeah, some things are not good as audiobooks. There's a reason why we call them, like, motion pictures. You kind of have to pay attention to the motion, the pictures that are moving to understand stuff. Or at least you'd hope that's the way it'd be. Don't notice me. Stay away. Let me get some sleep. Cool. As we eat up all these apples. Oh boy, there's a lot of them. They're everywhere. Oh my. And there aren't even frogs in this game. How depressing. In the Minecraft world where I had frogs, I don't have slimes. I couldn't find slimes at all. In this one, we've got twomps. They're slimes. But we don't have any frogs. It's a tragedy. It's barbaric. But hey, it's always just its home, right? I don't know what I'm saying at this point. my brain turned off, and it was a pretty severe, pretty sudden turn off, so yikes. But hey, at least we're gonna be doing stuff. Like harvesting grass. No, we're just chopping down all these weeds. Chopping down weeds and getting seeds. I keep yawning. Why? I know why. It's a different time than I'm used. I mean, it's kind of part of the course for how we've been the last few weeks, I guess. But yeah, this isn't. It's not really ideal to be recording so late. I need to be more on the ball. I always tell myself that, and then things happen. I just kept getting delayed after delayed. I was gonna wake up early, and then I was gonna do stuff. And then I did do stuff, like I got laundry done, and I did change the kitty litter. I don't even have a cat, so I don't know why I'm the one always doing the kitty litter. But, you know, it's fine. If you're a retired parent who owns the cat, can't be trusted to change the kitty litter. And I think the issue is comparing myself to my mom is that she actually does like wash off and rinse out the kitty litter. Or not the kitty litter itself, but you know, the cat box for the litter box, you know, whatever we call it. Which is really nice, because it does keep the thing cleaner. But like, you don't have to do that every time. Like, I don't know, man, just get a bag and pour it out. Like, if you can't scoop it, like, just, you know, whenever it gets bad, just pour it out, fill it up with kitty litter, and call it a day. Like, it doesn't have to be a process. I don't know. Yeah, I definitely believe it's better to scoop as you go. That definitely keeps things cleaner longer. But if you can't do that, then, you know, just whenever it looks bad, just dump it. Refill it with more litter. If the cat doesn't mind, then why stress yourself out about it? Why make things more complicated? If you only have the 20 minutes, instead of saying I can't do the kitty litter because it takes 40 minutes or an hour or however long it takes to rinse out everything and dry it off and then do the filling it up and putting the stupid lid back on. Like, just pour it out into a bag, throw away the bag. Takes 10 minutes, if that. I don't know. It bothers me because he always apologizes whenever I do it or whenever she mentions that she didn't have time to do it, and it's like, it's okay. It's not a big thing. I'm used to doing the kitty litters because I've only had one cat in my life, and I've always been doing the kitty litters. I don't know why. It should be a shared thing. We don't have shared chores in this household. We just certain people do certain things and most people don't do anything. And that's why I live in a dusty house. And that's why I constantly have frogs in my throat, probably. All the dust. And then one of my parents will notice the dust and be like, man, I was moving stuff around and like, this house is really dusty. And it's like, yes. Yes, we have multiple pets that don't get groomed at all. We have air conditioning. We have ducts and pipes that don't get like cleaned. We have carpets that don't get vacuumed. We have so many things, so many reasons to have dust. And I say this as someone who's not really that good about vacuuming my room at all as well. Like, I'm not really one to talk. I'm also contributing to the problem pretty extremely. But, I don't know. It just kind of bums me out to get, like, and on one hand, it's nice to get a thank you or I'm sorry I couldn't get around to this. But at the same time, it's like, in a household, it should just be expected that, like, we're all in this together, you know? It shouldn't be if I do the dishes, it's a big thing. Like, that should just be expected. Somebody's got to do the gosh darn dishes, you know? Like, I don't know. If I'm ever married, like, I really hope I have a spouse that's kind of like my mindset on this, where it's like, yeah, we're in this together. Whoever has time, and like, I get it. It's really easy to procrastinate. But I really just hope I have somebody who's like, yeah, we have dishes and they need to get done. So let's do them together. I'll do them alone. I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to thank you or apologize or whatever. We're just going to do what we can. I don't know. And maybe I'm in the wrong here. Maybe I just am on a different emotional expression level than my mom, so it's what is genuine to her just comes off as like, I don't know. And it's not like it's ingenuine, it's just it rubs me the wrong way, because like, big picture, it shouldn't be a big deal to either, you know, ask somebody else to do a thing, or for somebody to do a thing without being prompted. Like, it should just be like, yeah, thing needs to be done. Thing got done. Cool, cool. Mental note. And then we'll move on to the next thing. I don't know. I feel like I'm saying a lot about myself without really trying to. I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm feeling like it's bad, actually. And the anxieties in my chest are contracting. I can feel it. I can feel that I've made a fool of myself, that I've revealed too much, and now I'm being judged by you. Dear listener, dear watcher, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are. I don't know, I suppose there are worse things to be judged for, though, so I don't know. I guess if you're gonna judge me for the chore etiquette, you can judge me for that. That's fair. Until you live with me, and then it's not fair. I don't want to be judged for my living etiquette by people I live with. Other than when the people I live with are like more on top of things than I am. Which is kind of stressful. It's kind of stressful to like have a different workflow than other people. Like, I definitely live with people who definitely keep things a lot more clean than I do. Which isn't bad. It's kind of nice, you know, to have countertops that aren't covered in dishes, and you know, having common areas that can actually be used all the time, because it's not like everybody's stuff is just all over the place. That's really nice. I really do appreciate that. But some people who are like that demand everybody's like that. And that's really stressful. It's really stressful when there's the expectation or the demand that, like, you gotta, if you make a dish, you clean it immediately. And it's like, some days it's, you know, and that's not how it's gonna be. Some days I'm just doing the best that I can. And you're just gonna have to deal with that. I don't know, man. Some people just don't know what it's like to spend a day in bed for whatever reason. Or days in bed. I don't really spend days in bed, but unless I'm sick, and then yeah, I'm definitely, that's the only time I get where I can sleep as much as I want without consequence. I spend 90% of my year, 99% of my year, where if I get more than 7.5 hours of sleep, I am going to struggle to sleep the next day. And that's bullcrap. That is terrible. Who designed me that way? And it's gonna turn out it wasn't anybody who designed me that way, it's just me. That's just the way I've made myself, because I was too addicted to playing my Game Boy Advance as a kid to sleep. And now I've got a really screwed up inability to sleep. And it's all my fault. I don't know. I don't think insomnia is anybody's fault. Like, there's definitely things you do that make it worse, but I don't think it's really anybody's fault. It's just a thing that happens, and getting stressed out about it makes it worse. It's one of those problems where being aware of it definitely makes it worse. In some regards. Like, if you're aware of it without solutions, then yes, that makes it worse. But if you know, like, how to calm yourself down or how to avoid it, that definitely makes it better. But, you know, you're never going to completely beat it. You're going to have nights where you did everything right and you're still going to be awake for hopefully not the entire night, but, you know, you're going to be awake. And that's really frustrating. And the next day is going to be really grindy and awful. And that's also really terrible. I don't know. And, like, I complain about, like, not being able to sleep, but I am definitely not in the worst of it. My younger sister and my dad both are way more heavily affected by insomnia than I am. Like, they have no control over it at all, as far as I'm aware. It just happens, and it sucks. Whereas I do have things that I can do and avoid that makes it better. Like, you know, like, don't consume media, experience media that'll freak you out. And it's kind of like, it goes with the epilepsy thing too, though. Like, you know, if I keep myself emotionally level, then it's a lot easier to navigate the world. So, on one hand, that sucks, because it means, like, people don't think I'm very emotional in real life. And it's like, no, I am experiencing these emotions, I just don't express them. Because, I don't have ways to express them anymore, because I don't. Like, that's really toxic, that's bad. But, you know, you do have to be... Or at least I have to be really in control of myself, which sucks. It sucks to have to be the guy who's, like, always the bigger person and always with it. Because if I don't, then, like, if I get into an argument and I have a seizure or I faint or whatever we want to call it, like, that affects me really negatively. Like, that has consequences. And also, it really freaks out the people around me, like the people who I'm having an argument with or I'm just around, like, they're gonna freak out. And the most important thing is I don't want them touching me. Like, people aren't trained what to do when a person has a seizure. Like, you really hope that they just kind of, like, freak out and maybe just, like, leave you alone. Some of them, though, I've watched movies and they think, like, oh yeah, we gotta put a wallet in his mouth, or oh yeah, we gotta hold him down so he doesn't, like, shake himself to death or whatever. And it's like, no. That does not happen. In fact, I don't think I move, which is why, like, I know seizures can happen in many ways. There are many expressions and ways. The only way you can know if someone's fainting or having a seizure is to literally have them connected to some sort of brain reading machine and have a doctor literally be like, oh yes, your brain readings are seizure, or they are not. That's the only way to actually know. I get it. And I'm also aware that there are multiple diseases, neurological or otherwise, that can cause symptoms fairly similar to what the public understanding of epilepsy is. So that's also pretty frustrating, because you hear about epilepsy a lot, you don't really hear about any of the random, like, fainting or loss of consciousness or whatever diseases as much. Although I would assume part of that is just, like, epilepsy does affect, like, what? Like, one out of like 26, 1 out of 30 something people will have an epileptic seizure at some point in their life. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is when you think about it. Like, if you think about your average school classroom, like, that means one person will have a seizure at some point. Or is it they'll be diagnosed with epilepsy? Because I feel like the people who have Caesars is actually greater, because it's, yeah, because Caesars aren't really too terribly hard to trigger if you know what you're doing. Like, it's not like kids could mess around and do it intentionally, but like if you had the right medical equipment or the right medications, or, and I say the right stuff, like it's the wrong stuff if it's causing you to have seizures. Like, we want to avoid that. We don't want to trigger that. Because I'm talking about really lighthearted, but there are forms of seizures that cause brain damage. As far as I'm aware, none of mine are that. All of the fun little brain scans I've had have shown that my brain is not. There's nothing in particular like negative about it, so that's pretty cool. It's nice to know that I have a fairly normal brain when I have a fairly abnormal way of expressing what the brain creates, I guess you could say. I don't know. But yeah. I don't know. Like, I wish... I mean, I could wish a lot of things. We can all wish a lot of things. That's the cool thing about wishes. They don't come true. You can make them come true if you want, if it's possible. If you're willing to put in the work, and if it's possible, you know, maybe. But, kinda wish everybody just, didn't have brains that were, actively working against them in some way, you know? It's always really tragic to hear about, like, children with, a really particularly aggressive form of epilepsy, or... you know, people with any form of dementia. That's always really unfortunate. I don't know. There's a shit ton of ways that the human brain can just go awry. And that sucks because like the human brain is literally the foundation of our entire human experience. And mine functions more or less okay, and I still have a lot of gripes with it. So I can't really understand the perspective of people that aren't in that position, you know, people whose brains will never work, I guess, properly, effectively, in a way that is conducive to living a life. I don't know. What do I want to say here? And it's just not fair, I guess. And that's something that kind of sticks in my craw. Because, you know, people say life isn't fair, but, like, they don't really think about the sheer weight of the unfairness that people live. Like, you know, I complain about a lot of things, but I've lived a pretty good life. Would I have regrets if I died today or tomorrow? Of course, definitely. Would it be the worst thing ever? I mean, for me, in that moment, definitely. But, overall, not really. But there are definitely people going through things that, like, you would describe as, like, the worst thing ever. And, I don't know, I guess it just sucks that, as a society, we're not really... It doesn't seem like it seems like we've lost steam on making progress to make things better and easier for people. Like, big picture, full scale. Like, that kind of sucks. I think we should get back to that, you know, doing work that maybe we don't benefit from, but, like, someone will. Like, there's reasons why we do things. And some of that is just because, like, it entertains us. And that's fine. But some of that is also, like, in the hopes that it's... You know, like, we plant a tree not for us, but for whoever's going to enjoy the shade. And I know that's not really why anybody plants trees. Nobody's planting a tree for the shade. I mean, I guess some people are. I feel like most people are just planting trees for either the aesthetic or because they believe in planting trees. And I guess how do we get people who don't want to plant trees to plant trees is probably the question. A metaphorical one, or not a literal question, but you know, it's just a question about how do we get people into the mindset of this world it's finite, but it's still big enough where everybody can have a piece of the pie. And that doesn't really require too much loss on the people who are currently enjoying larger slices or multiple slices of the pie. That is this planet, that is life. But we could definitely make it so it's not a painful grind or a slog for everybody. I don't know. At the same time, though, there are people who enjoy the painfulness and the slogginess of their lives, and it's like, well, if that's what you want, if you just want a life you grind through, like, I'd suggest video games. There's tons of those that are equally as terrible as working in retail. Oh, golly, yeah. There are a lot of painful games. And if you ever need something really painful and grindy, like, yeah, definitely work in retail. It's a great place for you. Especially if you have social skills or you're willing to talk to people. Like, it's a good place. I'm not, and I someday I'll be allowed to someday I'll reach a point where I never have to step foot in a store without intention of buying things. Someday. I keep telling myself that. Someday. Keep daydreaming about someday I'll make a video game, and it'll sell really well, and I'll never have to work another job in my life. I'll never have to talk to another person in my life. And that'll never happen because I've never made a game. But I like playing games, and I like looking at like games and learning about games. And then getting an idea of a game that's basically like another game but slightly different. I don't know. I've been thinking about town building games because of all this Animal Crossing and stuff. And there's parents like, well, what if you made a town building game where you don't actually build the town, but you can collect the people who will? So the entire point is just to explore the world and find people who can like do stuff, you know, who can grow food, who can actually make houses, who can keep everybody working on track, you know? I think that'd be a cool idea for a game. Especially like, what if you played as like a dog or a cat? And so your only abilities are like whatever the animal in question can do. And so the way, like, if you're playing as a dog, the way you can build the town is to, like, literally, like, lead them to the town. And you can also chase them away. Like, you can bark at them, you can bite them, you can chase them. Like, I don't know, just do dog things. And you know, if the guy who's building houses doesn't build houses good, if they fall down or if he takes too long, like chase them away, find another builder. I don't know. I thought I've been thinking about that like all day. I had a dumb idea for a game because I saw a screenshot of a Game Boy Advance game and I instantly had a vision of a game where you played as a dog in a valley, looking for people. I don't know what I'd call it. You'd probably need a better name than like Dog of the Valley, or Valley of the Dog. Thank Dog. Think dog would actually be kind of cute though. Especially because like you're the one say. Especially like, what if the setting was the world ended? We don't really care about why or how. Like it doesn't matter. All you know is the world ended. Humans are scattered. And you're just looking for random humans to build this town. Why are you doing this? Who knows? Maybe a god told you to do it. Maybe a demon told you to do it. Maybe you're just doing this because you need somebody to give you belly rubs and head scritches. And nobody's doing that now. I don't know. I think that's what a lot of dogs just need though, is a lot of attention. There's two kinds of dogs. I mean, three kinds if we include evil dogs. But there's just the ones that don't really need your attention constantly, and the ones that do. And if you're used to one, you are not used to the other. I'm not a dog person because I can't handle dogs that need your attention all the time. It's a little much. It's a little much. I would say though, my least favorite kind of dog in general is any dog that slobbers. I know they can't control it. I know that's just the way they are set up. But boy, do I hate having slobber on my stuff. Like I don't know. I don't think you can train it out of them because I think that's just the way they are. But yeah, I am not a fan of dogs that slobber. Especially like when they're just running around with like a thick trail of mucusy drool down their freaking muzzle, like just dangling off their jowls, like ugh, gross. And then if they shake their head or run, like it gets all over everything or gets on you, like ugh, gross. I don't know why I'm talking about that. It just that's how my parents' dog is. A very excitable little lad, but I say little lad, he's a golden retriever. He's a big boy. He's not the biggest dog I've seen, but he's still a pretty sizable, chunky guy. And he needs a lot of attention constantly. Part of that's he's young, part of that is just like probably the way he was raised at the breeder or whatever. But part of that is like my parents just haven't trained him at all. So, you know, that's cool. It's really cool to have a dog that's not trained at all. Because you like the aesthetics of having a dog, but you don't like the work of having a dog. And I think that's why I'm not really a pet person, is just like, again, like with the cats. I just resent having to do the work for other people's pets. And I know that's how everybody is, kind of. Like when I was a kid, I know my parents definitely resented ever having to do the work for any pet that I had. And that's how it should be. You know, kids should learn responsibility, but also like adults should know responsibility. So if they have a pet, they should do the right thing. Do the right thing for the pet, you know? Because you're the most important person to them, so it's kind of your job to actually care about them like an equal amount and try to make their lives good. They're only with you so long. It really sucks if you're not going to like put the work in and actually like love them as much as they love you. But yeah, not a pet person. It just makes me think too much. Like I don't like those the emotion porn commercials where it's like, this cat's been at the vet forever. Been at the shelter forever. He's never known a loving touch. You could adopt him today, or $5 from everybody in the country would save this cat's life. Like that stuff gets to me. Because animals don't deserve... I mean, they deserve people caring about them. And it's really cool, I guess, like, that there are people willing to make commercials or ads, you know, to keep animals alive. That's cool. And to let them be adopted, you know, that's really cool. It's just, it's not something I can handle. I don't like the idea that there are beings who aren't living their best. I guess it hits me hard that, you know, there's just so much, like, needless suffering, I guess. There's just so much loneliness in that. Like, the system's not set up to, like, connect people and animals to where they should be. Like, that's probably something we should fix, isn't it? Like, it's not even about, like, progressive or conservative. It's just, like, why don't we have a system that, like, why don't we have more, like, if you need to get from point A to point B, like, let's get the point A for point E. Like, I don't know. Am I being weird? Am I being dumb? But, like, isn't that a fundamental flaw in how we do things where, like, it's really hard to actually, like, connect anything? It's really hard to make a connection. It's really hard to maintain that kind of stuff. It's really hard for us humans, as a single human, it's really hard to see the big picture and, like, connect all the dots, right? But, like, the system has a lot of tools in it that would make that a lot easier. So why don't we, like, utilize that for good? I don't know. Like, why don't we have algorithms that do that just match people with pets? And you're thinking that'd be really dumb. I don't want to be assigned a chinchilla by the government that I'm gonna have to take to the vet and it's gonna cost $8,000 every freaking week. I get it, but, like, you're gonna love your government mandated random pet and you're gonna go bankrupt keeping it alive. And that's just the way it's gotta be. So I don't have to feel bad about internet ads about cats that aren't adoptable anymore. Or dogs that look sad. Or whatever. No more. No more feeling bad. Only solutions. The time for crying was years ago. Now is the time for doing. We're gonna plant trees, we're gonna cut down trees, we're gonna plant more trees, and then we are not gonna do anything useful with the lumber. But we're going to have it, and we're gonna use it. By golly. Let's get it done. I don't care what it is, it needs to get done. I don't have a plan. I'm just a man who doesn't understand and makes frequent demands. Oh well. Oh boy. The sun's come up, 'cause it is... Oh wow, we've been doing this for a while. I was not aware that we've been doing this for a while. Oh wow, happy day. What a thing. I don't think we even used up a full... Yeah, we did. We used up one full thing in Netherrack. That we did. That we did. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how far we want. Probably from the lake, but, like, I don't actually know how far I want to extend this crap. Because, yeah. At a certain point, we just gotta say, we're done. We're done with this garbage. We're no more. I don't know. I don't know at one point we're gonna reach that point, but certainly at some point it's gotta happen. Certainly at a certain point it's gotta happen. And you know what, I kept going back to the bed, but I have a bed for me, for personal use for me. Because yeah, I feel like this would be a good area to do. And then, I don't know if we want to extend it anymore. This way. Like, there's a part of me that's like, we could go at least up to the mountain. But I don't know. I don't want to cut down any more trees at this point. I'm kind of done with cutting down trees for this garbage. I hear a guy. But I do not see said guy. And an even more important part, we are going to have to, like, grab a crap ton of lava. And that is also kind of unfortunate. But that's also kind of life. Doing what we can. Oh. Okay, so we do need to fill in this, I guess, too. Okay. I don't know why I didn't, but apparently it wasn't that important. Okay, so yeah, we got a hole. I thought this whole side was done. I thought we finished it up. How could I have been so blind and wrong? Why is there always more stuff to fill in with Netherrack? We're gonna have to fill in the chests all over again, aren't we? We're never gonna be done with this. We're gonna be in Mario Minecraft video 150, and we're still gonna be doing this Netherrack garbage. And we're gonna be 1,000 weeks away from now, and I'm still gonna be, sorry guys, I'm recording this late, and I'm tired, and I'm yawning, and I'm sorry, I'm a little fuck up boy, and I don't really know what I'm doing. I would never, in all seriousness, ever call myself a little fuck up boy, though. Am I definitely a big dumb screw up man? Of course. But a little fuck up boy? Of course not. I've grown out of those days. I've gained too much weight to be a little fuck up boy. You can call me a big screw up man now. And I'll take those words to the bank and then be told I overdrafted, or I'm using words that my mouth is writing checks that I don't know what I'm trying to say here. What am I trying to say? What phrase am I trying to butcher? I don't know. You tell me. Because I'm the big screw up guy. Man, whatever. It's fine, it's okay. I'm sleep deprived. I have an excuse. I don't deserve to use it, but I've got it anyways. It's prepared. Voila. I whip out the excuse once again. This makes all sympathies towards me evaporate, and also gives me the ability to go on my moral high horse whenever somebody tries to stop me. Slow clap. That's the way it has to be. That's the way it is now. You let me use my excuse. Now I'm free to do whatever I want. As horribly as need be. Hooray. Yeah, I think we'll use up these blocks and then we'll call it goodsies. I don't feel like we got much done. That's kind of because we were all over the place. I feel like that's it. Because I feel we definitely got a lot of netherrack placed. Maybe not as much as I'd like. We did cut down some trees, so that's also a thing. Let this be a lesson to never bite off more than you can chew while terraforming places in Minecraft. It's a thing that leads to madness. And I don't know, I can't really in good consciousness suggest it. I am definitely losing my mind doing this. Although some would say I probably had to be a few marbles short anyways to even think this was a good idea. And I would agree, but that's because I know I ate the marbles, so... Metaphor, meta forgotten. Golf clap. Let me climb into bed. Let me use up this netherrack. Let me go to... Oh, wait. Well, at least it broke apart nice and easy. We're gonna have so many seeds. But when are we planting them? Not today. But yeah, if I ever do quit this YouTube channel, it'll be probably to make the dumb... It'll be to make some sort of dumb art thing. Whether it's a video game, or a bunch of sculptures. Or I finally scam somebody into paying for a studio. That'd be cool. Someday it could happen. If you just keep talking about it, someday you'll manifest a ding-dong willing to buy a studio for basically a failed artist. I believe in myself. Do I know it's an impossible dream? Pretty much, yeah. Am I still gonna dream it sometimes? Heck yeah. Why not? Okay. I think the issue was I didn't really have a good stopping point. Like, this stuff goes on for a while. So I was just kind of like, you know what, let's put it off until we have to deal with it. Now I'm at a point where I have to deal with it. And that's okay, that's how it is. That's what I always say, that's just how it is. Not good, it's not bad, it is what it is. And the sooner it is or isn't, the sooner we can save and quit. Call it a day. Okay, whatever. You do you, buckaroo. And then one of the mangas I was reading online started getting a bunch of chapters every day. So I was like, that's cool, because this one's actually kind of cute. I forget its name. But it's all about a young lady trying to, like, confess her love to her love interest and screwing it up every time because he's really shy. So it is equal parts, like, funny for, like, the darkly humorous ways he screws up. Like, she wanted to surprise him by, like, sneaking up on him and being like, peekaboo, you know. And what she did was she, like, grabbed him instead of, like, just his face. He just, like, pulled him down and, like, freaked him out. I don't know. It's funny in, like, the dumbest way possible. I want to say it's like Akira Momose's love struggles or something like that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. Between that and the other, what's the other cute girl series I'm reading? It's like My Friend something or other. Like, that one's also really cute. And I guess I'm suddenly realizing that a lot of the stuff I'm reading lately, like the main character is literally just a girl failure, and it's like, you know what? Not even a bad thing. Relatable. Definitely relatable. As somebody who never understands what's going on, girl failures are relatable as crap. Do I understand the struggles of love? Not really. Have I ever been in any of the positions they've been as like a teenage girl? Not really. Probably not. No. But boy howdy. Does being stressed out about something completely pointless that nobody cares about, that is relatable as crap. That is so relatable. I don't know. I think I just need to find somebody in real life who gets upset and like thinks and overthinks about the same things I do. And until then, I'm just going to be filled with a lot of frustration towards other people. Because it's not like we can change society to be like a little more accommodating, a little more friendly, a little less making fun of people when they're clearly upset about something, even if it's imaginary. As long as they're not like being destructive about it, it's fine. Let people freak out about things. It's okay. Let them feel their funky flow. You know, there's a difference between like, you know, curling up in a ball and needing to get some like stress sobbing done, and breaking somebody's TV or breaking somebody's house and like smashing stuff just because you're stressed out. There's a difference. Don't be a criminal. I mean, try not to trauma dump if people try to help, but also like most people, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people do understand that we're all just trying to get through it, but also a lot of people don't. And a lot of people are like jerks who have no ability to understand other people at all. I say, as a jerk with no ability to understand other people at all, who desperately wants to be understood. Life is cruel, isn't it? Some would say it's not cruel, it's just ironic. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with any of this. But we've almost used up this netherrack. Just a little bit more. The real question is, like, how much do we extend this? So we get rid of these trees, like, we're going all the way, aren't we? And I mean, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But it is a lot more than I would like. A lot more than I would... No, not a hole. Okay, that wasn't too bad. It could have been worse. We could have been... instant death, you know? Could have been... surrounded by creepers. Could have been all kinds of things. I heard my phone vibrate. What's it trying to tell me? Is it just giving me the weekly report? Did I get an email? Did somebody try to call me? It is not a good... at this time of the day, it is not a good thing to get a phone call. It's not the worst time, though. Like, it was like 1 in the morning. That'd be a pretty terrible time to get a phone call. I've only gotten a phone call personally since I've had a cell phone. At that time, once. And it was a friend, a female friend, who was experiencing being drunk and high at the same time, for the first time both. So not the first time being high and drunk, the first time being high, and the first time being drunk at the same time. And so he was calling to apologize because he didn't think she could make it to our... We were going to hang out like the day after she went to this party. And she was like, I don't think I can make it. And it's like, that's fine. Never call me at this hour ever again. Good night. Get home safe. Never call me at this time again. I have insomnia. I am not going back to bed, and I'm gonna be really upset about it. I have to go to school in 4 hours. Or no, I don't have to go to school in 4 hours. I have to start getting ready to go to school in 4 hours. I have to take a long bus. That was when I had to take a long bus to get to the school, the art school. So I was very upset when anything would like interrupt my sleeping. Usually it didn't. Sometimes it did. But yeah, I don't know. C was okay. Like, she did get home. Nothing bad happened to her. But yeah, definitely a very trusting person. A little naive. A little naive. Definitely someone I wouldn't have hung out with if I didn't meet her through, like, roommates. Which isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it's good to get out of your comfort zone and meet new kinds of people. At the same time, like, I still stand by, like, yeah, I would not have befriended her otherwise, and, kind of regret actually spending any real time with her at all. I don't know. He was all over the place, and so am I in many ways, but like we weren't really all over the place in ways where it was productive for either of us. It was too bad, because I really did appreciate our time hanging out. I do miss her as a friend. I miss a lot of people as friends though, like, oh, I don't know. I've met a lot of cool people. I wish I was better at like keeping up with people, either like through calling or letters or emails or texts or any sort of like messaging app. I don't know, I'm just not good at that stuff. And you gotta try not to be resentful that there are people who are really good at that stuff, and the people who are really good at that stuff are usually the same people who are really good at talking. Like, I don't understand people like that. I am very resentful of that. I wish I had some of those skills. If only so I could actually, like, use my words in a way to keep people from getting their weird ideas about me. People always think I'm such a nice person and I'm very useful and smart, and it's like, no. I only sound smart because I know what I want to say when I know when I want to say it. And also, you only think I'm smart because I don't talk at all. That's it. That's usually it. People think I'm smart because I don't talk. You guys probably don't think I'm smart at all, because I spend all the time we play Minecraft together, yammering about whatever, stumbling over words and struggling to remember what I was talking about, apologizing for a thing I've apologized a million times before. And that I have no real strategy for combating. Oh yeah, we reached the dirt layer. Or we got past the dirt layer. There we go. We reached stone. Ho hum, diddly dum. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll decide whether or not I'm going to take a bath based on how I feel once I get the videos moved to the editing computer. It takes a while, because these Minecraft videos, in their raw form, are huge. So are the Animal Crossing ones now that I'm recording them all on the stupid, new computer. Like, I appreciate it, because it makes parts of editing them really better. Now that I'm not using the old capture card, I don't have to sync the sound up, which is great, because because I hated that. It was painful. It was never right. It never seemed right. And it slowed everything down because I'd have to like redo the entire video again and again and again, moving things around and around and around. Sometimes having to sync them up in different spots, like cutting the audio and then it was a pain. I hated it so much. It was a drag. It was an absolute drag. But now I don't have to do that. But now I've got new issues with the just with OBS and the newer capture card. I don't know. I kind of miss the Elgato app a little bit. Cause I feel like I could have smaller video sizes but slightly better quality, whereas like with OBS it's either like you either go for the highest quality and you still have like little weird things, or you have like really weird things at lower qualities. I don't know. I haven't found the sweet spot with OBS yet. So it's just like, well, we'll just record everything big and then we'll just edit it and then export it in a way where it's not as big, but still not looking terrible, hopefully. Yeah, we're gonna make this a volcano at some point. I don't know. We've gotta look over there. I need to see whether or not this is worth it. I don't think it is. I don't think it's going to be worth it. And then we are going to call it for today, and then we are going to give up emotionally. I don't know. I'm still complaining, but we're still doing it, so that's something. I know we made progress. That's something. I don't know how much progress. Like, it does look like it would be better if we just got rid of those trees and let it extend as far as it needs to, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's not ideal. But, yeah. We knew we'd have to use a lot of Netherrack to complete this in any sort of fashion. And we have used a crap ton of Netherrack. We have used way too much. And we're still gonna be using way too much. Honestly, if we can complete that part and then make sure everything that's not the front part and the caves is done, then we might fill up those chests again and then we'd finish everything. I know I don't really want to do that because we've already spent so much time here, but I don't know. I think that might be the way to go. It's fine. It's fine. We still got things we can do on this guy too, though. We can make sails. We can. I don't know. I would really like to make like a. And if I was going to do this, we should have kept the dirt platform, but make like a get a bunch of white wool and make a bunch of like clouds that it's like sailing on. I think that'd be kind of cool. Fire crackled in a way that kind of stressed me out. But yeah, I don't know. We've got a long way to go. And we've already spent a long time doing this. This was a bad idea. And I think the real bad idea is never saying no to extending this. We just keep extending it more and more. We should have just kept it as one little dumb volcano and let that be that. Instead, we've made a whole potentially volcano-ish, Vulcanish. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. I'm not finding it. And that's my alarm. So that's cool. Let me deal with that. Can you hear that? I did not turn off my alarm from yesterday. Because my sleep schedule has been so screwed up that I was expecting to wake up at a time that I usually wouldn't. So yeah, that is... Oh, I need to... Let me double check one thing real quick. Let me make sure... Okay. I had to make sure that the next one wasn't in 5 minutes. I'm really bad. Really bad about setting an alarm and then setting one for 5 minutes later. Usually I've tried to be a little better where it's like just I set one alarm and then like another one half an hour later as a backup, and I try to just keep it to those two. But I have been known to just set like 5 alarms with like alternating between like half an hour and then 5 minutes. So yeah. I'm glad nobody else in my house can hear them. When I used to live in a little more cramped apartments, that's why I started just doing the 2, because like, yeah, if you do 3 or 4 or 5, and other people can hear them, they don't like that. It's not very nice to your roommates. So be aware of that if you're younger, if you don't live with other people, and you will at some point. Just be mindful that things that make sense to you, or you do out of necessity, or you do out of laziness, can affect other people. I think that's kind of that's the main takeaway. The things we do that we take for granted and we do out of laziness a little bit, we do out of necessity a little bit, can affect other people. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of the effect you have on your household is good advice. Be mindful of the effect you have on your pets and your family, your friends, your roommates. Good advice for once. We did it. We gave good advice that isn't a lie, that we've actually lived. Hooray, we did it. We've done it. We have solved something. Okay, so I'm just gonna spin around up here for a little bit, and then we are going to call it a day. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I'll see you again, where we will be doing probably the same thing, except that corner. We're gonna use up our Netherrack on that corner. And then we will march our little butts, and we will try to get the back done. Because right now, I feel like that's good. There's a little bit more to do over in there, I think. Like, that's the thing. I don't want this to curl around and then end up being like this whole thing. But I'm not good at making stopping points. So we're just gonna have to do our best. So, yeah, that is the plan for the Netherrack and the Mario Minecraft for the foreseeable future. We will be continuing to do this for too long. And I don't know if I've got an idea for a project that'll make it worth it after this. I think I've plumbed the depths of my... This isn't even creative. This is just literally placing Netherrack on land. I mean, maybe if we make that a volcano, that could be cool. And maybe at a certain point, instead of getting more Netherrack, we're just gonna start gathering up lava. Let that be a thing. Start filling in some of these holes with lava. Because we got a lot of divots. We got a lot of little pits we can fill up with stolen molten rock. So we'll figure it out. We'll keep doing what we can. Hopefully what we can do is be a little more awake and alert next time. Either by hopefully beating insomnia's butt, or by simply not letting things disrupt our schedule, sticking to a schedule, starting things on time. You know, the good stuff. Having a schedule, doing stuff on the schedule. Not letting things slip, not letting things distract us. Getting things done in a way that isn't destructive. That is pretty cool. I'll see you guys later. Thank you as always for listening to me ramble all the time. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.